smash like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do it so that you don't miss any of my videos. So without any delay, let's get started. And today we are gonna learn about how we can accept user input. So till now we have worked with strings, we have done some stuff, we have learned about data types, but now we'll learn how to accept user input, and this is gonna be very interesting, and it is in C. So without any delay, let's get started. Damn! Okay, so over here, first of all, we are including stdio.h, and then we have our main method. Quite cool till now, right? And we everything is commented, right? So then we have char input 256. So we are creating an input string that will have 256 characters, 255 to be specific, and one for our string terminator. Then we are creating an integer value variable age, right? Then we are printing what is your name, user. So on the screen it will be printed what is your name, user. Then we are using a method named scanf. This scanf allows this allows us to take input from here. So this scanf method will allow this program to take input, right? And whatever will come as a result, that will be one whole string, right? So we are saying to get one whole string and save it in input, right? So if we had done %s %d, and then we would have done, for example, something like age, right? So this what this would have done was that it would have found a string, right? And saved it in input, right? And then it would have found an integer, right? %d integer, right? So it would have found an integer, and that would have been saved in age, and we have to give and age, or not this right? So and age, because we need to pass this pointers only, right? So over here a string, it would have found a string and it would have saved it in input, and wherever it would have found a space separated integer that it would have saved in age, right? But right now we are just getting one whole string and we are saving it in input, right? And that is the name of our user, a beautiful user, right? And guys, please, I'm just reminding you, 99% of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you kindly just press that subscribe button, that would be a great help for me, because right, you will give me a lot of motivation for making such content, more such of this content. So please subscribe that. Please subscribe the channel, and let's move on. Next, what we are doing, we are printing hello comma %s. So we are replacing %s with input. So this will show us hello and whatever the name was entered by the user. How old are you? So this will show hello user. Like if I entered Saion, so this will show hello Saion. How old are you? Then we'll call scanf again. So this will allow the our console over here to take the input once again from the user, right? And this time we'll get one decimal that we'll save in age. And note that you only have to pass pointers, right? So you only have to pass pointers to scanf. So over here, input was a pointer to the first character of a string, and age is an integer variable, so we need to pass a pointer to age, right? So we passed a pointer to age. So now whatever input, decimal input was, we got one whole decimal input, right? And we are saving that in age, and then we are printing %s, you look young for %d. So we are replacing %s by input and %d by from age, right? So this will show us, well, like if I added my name and my age, so this will show Well, Saion, you look young for 11. Okay, so very simple program that is taking an input. What is your name, user? My name is Saion. Hello, Saion. How old are you? 11 years old. And well, Saion, you look young for 11, right? And let's do this once again. Saion, but this time if I give 11 and some junk, let's see what happens. You see the decimal part that it found, right? So it ignored the characters, only it took the decimal part, as it was said that only take the decimal part and save it in age. This is doing that only. It is only looking at the decimal part. When the decimal part gets over, that much part that it has looked, that will be saved in our age, right? So quite cool stuff over here. If I gave like crap and then 11, then this is showing us some junk, right? This is giving us some junk. So this is really not the most good this is not really the best way over here, right? This is not the best way to take input, right? So a better way can be by using another method, right? So this over here, we'll see, look at another method. But let's read out this text. This is not really the best way of getting console input. It only really works if you have a user who types in exactly what you expect. So this will only work if you expect the user to write his exact name, his exact age properly, and you expect him not to do anything fishy, right? So it only really works if you have a user who uh, who types in exactly what you expect. Unfortunately, users have a nasty tendency to type in things you aren't expecting, so they might type in things that you aren't expecting, and scanf doesn't cope well with this. Scanf will does not, right, cope very well with this like situations, right? So for example, if the code above in the code above if the user types in 257 characters when asked for the name, so when we ask for the user's name, the user enters 257 characters, they will overflow the space allocated for the input string and bad things may happen. So that is not the most efficient way. This is a very better way over here, where we have this main method and we have our input string, and then we have a name string, right? And then we have age. And what we are doing, first of all, we are printing what is your name, user, right? And then giving a new line. So this much it is same. Then what we are doing, not using the scanf method, we are using the fgets method, right? So this is so cool. We are using the fgets method. This is saying to save the value that whatever you get, right? So this is saying save the value in input. How many characters can it be? It can be 256 characters. And then what should it save? It should save whatever value is coming from our standard input, right? So whatever value we are receiving from standard input, that we are able to access because of our header file stdio.h, right? So whatever value comes from our standard input, that value you need to save in your input, right? Then what we are doing, we are doing string scanf, right? So from string, we are, instead of bringing value from the console, we are bringing parts of the string. So from input string, we are getting a percent so we are getting the whole string, right, and saving it in name. So now name has our input string. Then we are printing after that Now we have received the name successfully. Now we need to give checks for our age, right? So we'll print hello percent s. How old are you? So percent s will be replaced by name. So hello, like if I enter Saion, so hello Saion, how old are you? Then what we'll do, we'll run a while loop, and over here we are getting another input, right? So f get string, right? So this will get a string, right? And it will save it in input, so it will be saved in input. This is saying that it can be 256 characters, and from like how can we get the input using standard in input stream. Basically standard in we are able to access from standard stdio. So standard IO. So now over here we are from standard input, whatever input was, right? So whatever input we get from our input stream, that we need to save in our input variable, right? We are checking if scanf input, right? So we are calling scanf input on if we successfully get an integer value and are able to save it in it, it will be successful if it returns a non-zero value, right? So it will return 1 because it will basically say it will right now return 1. The success code is not always 1, but it will be 1 right now because um, because we are copying only into one variable, right? So the maximum things that can be successful is copying into one variable, that is 1, right? So one thing can only get successful, so that's why it will return 1. So it will return how many basically things were successful, right? So if scanf input percent d and age returns 1, right? So if it was able to successfully copy the value that is in input into age, if it will only be able to copy it if a real decimal value was entered. So if this is basically checking if a real decimal value was entered and was copied into age, then break, right? But if it doesn't, and it wasn't a correct value for it, then it will print sorry, it will print I don't recognize that as an age, try again. So it will print for us I don't recognize that as an age, try again. When how many times we give wrong, it won't accept it. When we add a valid age, right, then it will come out and it will print well percent s, you look young for your age. So basically well Saion, you look young for 11, right? So if I just do gcc main.c and then we do dot slash a dot out, then what is our name user? Saion. Hello Saion, how old are you? If I enter some gibberish like this, see what will happen. It is not what you expect to. It is still going on because it found a decimal number and it kept looking till it found decimal numbers, right? So it kept on going looking at the number till it found it till it didn't find any non-number value. So till it didn't find any non-number value, it looked at the numbers, right? So it kept on looking at the numbers. When the numbers ended, that much that part it looked, that was saved in 8. So over here it looks at 1. 1 is a number, so it looks at 1 again. The other 1 was also a number, so it goes to f. Now f is not a number, so the part that it previously had looked, that was 1 and 1, 11, that comes in age, and then age's value is 11. So well Saion, you look young for 11, so it got 11. But this is, you must be thinking this is a disadvantage of this. What? Look at this Saion, and if we give gibberish 11, Then it is saying I don't recognize that as an age. Try again. Last time we were getting some random number, right? We were getting, if you remember, we were getting some big random number. But now it will say that it at least needs to find one digit, right? And when it finds one digit, then it will work. If in the start only it gets characters, then it won't work. So this code is very good. Now, how can you read parameters? So the parameters, let's see. So over here, we have some code. We have a main method, and then we are getting two things now. We are getting an integer argc, and then we are getting an array, right, of character pointers. So we are getting an array of character pointers, that is argv, right? So we are getting an integer argv, and we have an array of character pointers. Sorry, we have an integer argc, and we have an array of character pointers, right? So we have an array of character pointers, that is argv. But this is actually an array of pointers to characters. So this is an array of pointers to characters. Each element of an array is a string. So each element of this array is a string, and each string is one of the parameters provided. Each string is one of the parameters provided to the program, right? So every string, you know that, like when you save a string in a variable, then it's pointer, right? So when you access the variable, it's pointer to the first character comes. Similarly over here, when this is an array of character pointers, because all the strings are indirectly pointing to their first character, that's why, right? So in this, now what we have int param equals 0, and then we're checking while param is less than argc. So in argc we are getting how many arguments we get. So what do you mean by how many arguments? Yeah, like over here we are doing dot a dot out, right? This is one argument, dot a dot out. When we give a space and then write something, this will be the second argument. Then we give a space and then something, this will be our third argument. So it goes on like this, and argc is the length of our arguments, how many arguments we really are getting. So we are checking if param, sorry, right, so while param is less than argc. So if this parameter variable, so every program has one parameter always, that is when you, this is the first parameter. So param is less than argc when we do dot slash a dot out. So then in this it will go and printf parameter percent d is percent s. So parameter, and then we are printing param. So parameter 0 is, and then we are replacing percent s by accessing the param value in argv. So in argv we are accessing the param, whatever param is basically kind of an index, right? So till basically this is saying that till it doesn't reach till the end of our array, right? So this is saying till it doesn't reach till the end of our array, till then print parameter, whatever param index we are on, is whatever value is there on that index in our arguments array. So this is basically bringing the value at the index, right? So this is bring this over here, like we are accessing the value or at the index we are currently on, right? So we are accessing the value in argv of the index we are currently on, right? So if you are on 0, we are accessing the 0th value. That is a pointer to basically that is a character pointer, right? That is a character pointer to the first value of a string, right? So that we are giving to percent s. So percent s will show us the whole string, right? So it will show us the whole string. So it will, first of all, over here this program will show us parameter 0 is a dot out. So a dot out is a post parameter, so it will show us parameter 0 is a dot out, and then we will increment parameter till we don't reach the end of our arguments array. So if we just do a dot out, there will be only one argument. So let's interpret that I only give a dot out. What will happen? We'll get one argument. Argc's value will be 1, and in argv we will have a character pointer to the first character of dot slash a dot out. Then int param will be 0 while param is less than argc. So param is 0, 0 is less than argc. It will go print parameter 0 is, then it will show a dot out, right? And then it will increment param, right? And then it will check if 1 is less than 1. 1 is not less than 1, so it will come out and return 0, so it will come out of the program. And now in the end we will have 1, a dot out. In the end we will have parameter 0 is dot slash a dot out, right? So if we just do gcc and then a dot out, so parameter 0 is dot slash a dot out. But now you will be thinking, how is this program useful? I can space separated, I can give more arguments like hi, bye, 2, 3, 9, hello, Saion, yo, bro, sub to the channel, and I've given a lot of arguments. So now you see it is printing all the arguments. So it is showing parameter 0 is dot slash a dot out, parameter 1 is hi, parameter 2 is bye, parameter 3 is 2, parameter 4 is 3, parameter 5 is 9, parameter 6 is hello, parameter 7 is Saion, parameter 8 is yo, parameter 9 is bro, parameter 10 is sub, parameter 11 is 2, parameter 12 is the, parameter 13 is channel, right? So this is quite cool stuff over here. Can be very useful in your programs when you're programming, right? Some cool stuff. Plus we have gone up to this, and you can create a very simple your own calculator, right? You can create your own calculator, simple calculator, right? From this, right? So you just give int argc over here, character pointer array argv, and in this we have int arg1 and arg2. so if argc is equals to 4, right? So if its length is 4, meaning that if we have given a dot out, then we have given a number, then we have given plus, then we have given another number. So then it is correct, and it will go in and it will do a string scanf. It will do a string scan, right? It will take argv1, right? So the first parameter, not the zeroth, because zeroth parameter is dot slash a dot out, right? So zeroth parameter has dot slash a dot out. The first parameter is where our first number will be, right? So it is taking the first parameter, right? It is trying to access a decimal from it, and then it is giving a pointer to arg1. So whatever decimal it gets, that is going in arg1. Then it will do the same thing for our last argument, that is the fourth argument, right? That is the third indexed argument. So it will get the last argument, take the decimal part of that argument and save it in arg2. So now arg1 and arg2 are two numbers on which we will perform a operation, right? So we are checking if star argv2, right? So if star argv2, so now we have to dereference this pointer, right? As we know, argv2 is just a pointer, right? So argv2 is pointed to the first character of a string. So if we dereference that and the value is plus, right? So if we get a plus, then print arg1 plus arg2. If we get a minus, print arg1 minus arg2. If we get a x sign, then print arg1 into arg2. And then if we get a slash, that is the division sign, then print arg1 divided by arg2. And that you have a simple calculator over here, guys. Like you do first, let's compile this, and then dot slash a dot out 2 plus 2, and you get 4. Voila! But if you do 2 plus 2 like this, like you stick it, then you will get nothing, guys. It won't work. It will take this as one parameter, right? You have to give it separated with spaces, right? So dot a dot out, and then you can do anything. 2x2, 2 into 2. So this is one parameter of our array. This is one item of the array, not parameter. This is one item of the array. This is also one item of the array, and this is also one item of the array. So there are 4 items in total in our array. And if there are 4 items in our array, then we are eligible. We are literally eligible to do our calculation. So if we do dot slash a dot out, and then if we do x plus x, then some junk will come. If you just don't give it properly, some junk will come, right? And this was it, guys, for user input. I hope you liked the video, guys. If you did, please don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. Thank you, guys. Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching my videos. Damn!